Please be seated. Welcome to the 2014 Rochester STEM Academy graduation. It is our first graduating class. It is a class of 18 marvelous young individuals. And we're here to celebrate their accomplishments, and we're here to celebrate where they're going. A commencement ceremony is exactly that. It is a ceremony of your beginning. That's what commencement means. So to begin our commencement celebration, I'd like to introduce to you our board chair, who has been a tireless worker, a tremendous leader. This is Dr. Jill Leet Otley. Would you please give a round of applause for her?
Assalamu alaikum. How's that? Welcome. Welcome to this historic event. Can you hear me okay? The inaugural graduation of Rochester STEM Academy. Welcome to our first class of graduating seniors, the class of 2014. Welcome to their parents, Hoya and Abo, grandparents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, cousins, relatives, friends, and other members of the Rochester community. Is this better? Yes. Can you hear me? Okay. I have to get on my tiptoes. Welcome to our distinguished guests, Senator Carla Nelson, and some other guests from the Twin Cities that Abdul Qadir will introduce in just a moment. Thank you. Welcome also to our board of directors who are on stage with me here, dedicated individuals who have been elected by the school community to guide and oversee the school. Welcome also to our dedicated teachers and staff who are sprinkled throughout the audience. They've worked tirelessly all year to help you acquire the knowledge and skills needed to graduate. You may not recognize it at this moment in your life, but their impact on you will resonate for many years to come. Teachers and staff, on behalf of the board of directors, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude for the noble work that you do. And finally, welcome to our distinguished director, Dr. Brian Rossi, for taking the helm mid-year when we desperately needed him. Dr. Rossi, you inspire me with the depth of your passion, your expertise, and your integrity. Oh, there you are, thank you. So, Dr. Rossi asked me to kick off this event by talking a little bit about the formation of the school and how I got involved with the school. So I'll start briefly in the year 1983, but I'll go fast. This is the year I spent as a college student living and studying in Kenya. I was profoundly shaped by my experience there, as people often are by living in foreign lands. Two things stand out about my experience there. The first is the amazing generosity and hospitality of East African people. Something I think that can be said of both Kenyans and Somalis, am I right? Even when they had little teeth themselves, they insisted on feeding you. So, the second thing I learned in Kenya is the importance of community. I remember being surprised when several neighbor women showed up unannounced at my homestay family one day to help us hoe the fields. This was hot and tiring work. A few days later, my homestay mother and I returned the favor, walking many dusty miles to go help them in their fields. The spirit of community was strong. It is something I admired about the people in Kenya, and it's something I admire here at this school. Fast forward to 1996. I told you I'd go fast. I was now living in Rochester, and lo and behold, people from Somalia were starting to move here, many through Kenya and many fleeing the war. An incident occurred on a hot summer night not far from where I lived in southeast Rochester. A 12-year-old Somali boy was beaten by a gang of white men wielding bats in what police described as a racially motivated attack. The boy lost 8 teeth. Several of the men were convicted of assault and served time in jail. Thinking back to the warmth and hospitality that I received in East Africa, I felt a sense of shame at the reception this young Somali boy received in my town. But I was not the only one. This hate crime inspired a Not in Our Town campaign, and I joined the many Rochester residents committed to making Rochester a more welcoming community. A few years later, I read about the formation of Adam Abdul Academy in the Post Bulletin. I was now a student at the University of Minnesota with an interest in immigrant and refugee education. I didn't know anyone at the school, but I decided to go see if I could volunteer there, motivated by a desire to help build bridges between cultures. That was in 2007. I think you guys were probably in 6th grade, many of you. I met Abdulkader, who welcomed me with open arms. I volunteered for several years, helping out in Miss Snyder's 4th grade class. Do you remember her? Also in Miss Cannon's reading class, and sometimes in Ali Jarris's computer class, if you recall. I really loved working with the kids, and I ended up doing my dissertation research at the school. Given my interests and the relationships that I had now formed with members of the Somali community, Abdulkader invited me to serve on the founding board of the STEM school. And really, how could I say no to an idea that epitomized all of my deepest convictions? So here I am today, proud to be a part of the formation of this unique school. You see, it's rather unprecedented for a community so new to the United States to have the vision and the determination to start a charter school that would better suit the academic, linguistic, and cultural needs of their children. It's even more impressive that the community had the foresight to launch a high school with a STEM focus. In fact, Rochester STEM Academy was one of the first STEM immersion high schools in the state of Minnesota. Did you know that? Okay. We were also one of the first schools in southeast Minnesota to provide students with laptop computers. I want to share with you the bold mission statement that we crafted one evening in 2010 as we shared a delicious meal of rice, chicken, fish, and sambusas. If you recall that evening, that meeting, okay. The mission of Rochester STEM Academy is to provide a highly supportive and safe learning environment that prepares Rochester's students for higher education and employment in science, technology, engineering, and math professions through a challenging program emphasizing creativity, inquiry, experimentation, accountability, ongoing assessments, college prep, and high academic achievement. At this time, I would like to recognize our founding board. If you would please stand. Farhan Hussein was going to come today, but he didn't feel well. Muath Muqtasid, if you could stand and remain standing. Mahamoud Hamoud, Abdulkader Abdallah, and finally, well, myself, and also, although she's not here today, it's a person who kept this school functioning with her dedication and tireless commitment, Miss Katie Cannons. Thank you. So, the board, thank you. Now, it wasn't always easy, and we didn't always agree, and sometimes we stumbled. But we have much to be proud of, and we could not be more proud of you, our very first class of graduating seniors from Rochester STEM Academy. Thank you. So it's my pleasure to announce our next speaker, a man who really needs no introduction, a respected elder in the Somali community, the director of Rochester Math and Science Academy, and a man upon whose shoulders the success of this school often rested, a mentor to me and a friend, Abdallah Abdulkader.
Good afternoon, everybody. Senator Carnal Nelson, board members of Rochester STEM Academy, distinguished guests from Minneapolis, Ahmad Ilmi, the principal of Metro Middle Schools, Muhammad Usman from Twin Cities International, parents, staff, and students, and graduates of 2014. I was given the privilege to speak in Somali because I'm representing the community. So anybody who is having or who is not understanding the Somali language, I wish those who are close to them, they have to translate, please. The man marti sharafta, waalidiinta, board members, martida nooga timi labada iskuul oo Minneapolis, Ahmed Ilmi oo ah director ka mid the middle school iyo high school ka Metro School, maxamed cilmi oo ah xubin firfircoon ahna dadka ka muuqda iskuulka international waalidiinta noo yimi iyo graduateska waxaan idinku salaamayaa salaanta islaamka markaa taan ka gudbo waxaan rabaa inaan mahad gaara u celiyo waalidiinta maxaa yeelay ilaahay marka laga soo tago isaga awoodiisa iyo xukunkiisa ayay ku timi maanta halkan nimaadno xamdiga u horeeya isagaa iska leh midda labaadna waxaa iska leh waalidiinta maxaa yeelay haddaydan idinku aydan carruurta noo keenin maanta halka aan haabanayno iyo meesha aan marayno lama gaarin mana la higsadeen waxay ku suurta gashay sababta idinkaa iska leh maxaa yeelay haddaydan marka iskuulaadkan la furaya aydan gacanna siinin ooy carruurta nagu aaminin meesha maanta la taagan yahay lama istaageen guusha maanta la gaarayna lama higsadeen horta marka ugu horreyso aad baan idinkugu mahad celinayaa waalidiinta ilaahayna waxaan idinkaga baryayaa ubadkiinnii aad ku soo tacab iyo tiirabeesheen in ilaahay uu khayr la kulmiyo kuwii idinku soo noqdo wax idin tarana allah ka dhigo waa idin ducaynayaa waxaana idinkugu ducaynayaa ubadkiina inayan noqon ubad khasaara kuwii lagu nasto lagu barwaaqoobo in ilahay idinkaga dhigo markaan taa ka gudbo dhallinyarada meesha joogta maanta waa graduate gareeyaan ilaahay baa kasay inay halkan soo fadhiistaan idinkuna raallaad ka ahaydeen waxaa jirtay marxaladihii lasoo maray inaan dib ugu noqdo ma rabo marxalada adag baa lasoo maray iskuulaadkan inay heerkan gaaraan wixii dhib laga soo maray waad ogtihiin wixii dacaayad iyo hadal laga soo maray waad ogtihiin xataa in la yidhi kuwan haddaad high school ka dhammaysaan college ma helaysaan kuwa meesha ku jira baa college-kii dhammaynaya hadda halka fadhiya iyagoo iskuulkii iyagoo halka fadhiya bay college-kiina dhammaynayaan qaarkood waxay heleen jaamacado fiican bay heleen marka war xunoo laguwaa dacaayadii waa dhammaatay maanta mar haddii kuwii high schoolka ka baxay shalay markay 8 ka baxayeen high schoolka ma dhiganaysaan baa la lahaa mayay dhigtaan john adamsay dhigtaan century bay dhigtaan oo weliba very brilliant yihiin gabadha cabdalla uu dhalay ayaan waxay dhigataa century college-kana way dhammaynaysaa wax yar baa u haray waana 11 grade iskuulkaasayna ka aflaxday Rochester Martin Science Academy kuwa halkaan dhigtana college-kay dhigtaan Sheekh Cali wiilkiisa Axmed waa 11 grade college-kana waa dhigta sanadda markuu 12 grade dhammaynay college-ka waa dhameeyay marka horta war xuno lagu waa waxaan waalidiinta ku guubaabinayaa iskuulka wax fiican baa ka socda dadka war xumo tashiilka idin sheegayana noo imaada horta hore intaydan carruurta keenin tuur baa laydin siinayaa iskuulka bal arka hal usbuuca arka waxa meesha ka jiro markaa ka bacdi ku camal fal laakiin dhaqan baan leenahay annaga Soomaalida sida wax loo dhiso waa adag tahay laakiin duminta waa noo sahlantay in wax la dumiyo marka iskuulaadkan waa lagu liibaanay ha duminina idinkay idin wanaagsan tahay carruurtiina idin wanaagsan tahay mustaqbalka ummadda in wanaagsan tahay yaynaan noqonin ummadihii baaba'ay oo dhaqankoodii iyo diintooda ka tegay yaynaan noqonin dadka aan la joognana aan ixtiraamno dalkan dad baan ugu nimi fursadda na siiyey na soo dhaweeyey dadkaasna aan la shaqaysano si wanaagsanna aan oola macaamilno dhaqanka iyagana aan haysano dadkana yaa la aflagaadaynin xiriirkana ha la wanaajiyo anuu hadalkayga ma dheeraanayo guubaabo weeye waa idin salaamaya mar labaad waxaa laygu talagalay kali inaan community-ga la hadlo waad u jeedaan carruurtii oo graduate garaysay maanta una socota college markay collegeooyin waayaan marka annaga nagu soo noqda waa ka jawaabaynaa laakiin mar hadday collegeooyin dhiganayaan salaaxudiin waa dhammaynaya college-ka wax yar baa u haray cabdiraxmaan waa buu ka dhigtaa badankood jaamacaday heleen accepted weeye waxay ku xiran tahay kaliya imtixaamaadka ACT-ga iyo SAT-ga inay ku baasaan kaliya xataa waxay tegi karaan Harvard Yale Princeton waa tegi karaan aqoontooda ay ku xiran tahay laakiin high school ma ka baxeen waa ka baxeen shahaadooyin ma qaateen waa la siinayaa shahaadooyinkooda waa idin salaamayaa waxaan ku soo dhaweynayaa I would like to welcome Dr. Brian Rosie. He made his effort. He tried his best, although he came a couple of months ago, but he is concluding and he is saying farewell to the first graduates. it was an opportunity for him to today to participate and to be here at this stage and give them the farewell speech of the 2014 graduates of Rochester STEM Academy. Welcome, Brian.
Oh no. Oh no, you don't get off that easy, Abdulkader. I blame him for everything. You need to know that. But this section is also about the community. And Abdulkader was kind enough to deliver that, that speech in Somali. We also have a student speaker who can give us a small speech in Arabic. And so, Zakaria, are you ready to do that? This is community.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي بنعمته تتم الصالحات، والصلاة والسلام على معلم الخير وأعظم القدوات نبينا محمد على آله وصحبه ومن اقتفى على آثار الباقيات وبعد مدير المدرسة دكتور براين راسي، أصحاب الفضيلة والسعادة، آبائي الأكارم وأمهاتي القديمات، أساتذتي الأفاضل، إخواني الخريجين، أيها الحفل الكريم، أبدأ فأحييكم بتحية الرضوان، تحية أهل الجنة، فالسلام عليكم ورحمة الله. إني لا أتشرف بهذا المقام أسالة عن نفسي ونيابة عن إخواني وزملائي الخريجين من أفاخر فيهم وبكوني منهم أن أسمعكم حروف فرحتنا وألقي عليكم كلمة تخرجنا. يا مديري، إن تشريفكم حفلنا ومشاركتكم مسابتنا لهو مما يريد سعادتنا ويجعلنا محل الخبدة. هذا وإنا لنفتخر نحن الطلاب الدفعة الأولى بأن نكون أول دفعة من مدرستنا يخرجها السموك أميرا لمدرستنا أيها الحفل الكريم. أما إن للعيون أن تقر وللجوارح أن تهدى وللأرواح أن تضيب وأن يعم السكون أرجاء المكان لتنظف القلوب فتهمس لنا بما فيها مرت الأعوام كللنا فيها من العد والحساب. نتذكر تمام لحظاتنا الأولى في المدرسة، عالم لن نصبر أقاسيه إلا ونحن على عتبات الوداع والتخرج. كم تعبنا، كم سهرنا، كم أثقلتنا الهموم، ما بين مادة الكود وامتحان الصعب إلا معدل المتقلب. كنا في قمرة الدراسة ولم نفق إلا على قولهم مبارك التخرج وموفق أنت في الحياة. إخواني لنقف صفا واحد ولنقل باللسان واحد. إلا إن أولى وأول من نشكر ولا نشكر معه أحد سواه، وأحق من نثني عليه هو الله سبحانه وتعالى جل في علاه. فربنا لك الحمد أنت أهل الثناء والمجد. ثم لكل أمهاتي وآبائي، ها نحن صنيعكم، ها نحن حصاد أيديكم الكريمة. بارك الله في قرص فأين فسلمت أياديكم لنا أجمع. أضال الله أعماركم وزينها ببركم. معلمين الأفاضل، شكرا لنا ودعاؤنا لكم. لقد بذلتم في سبيل تعليمنا الكثير، والله لا يجازي بالكثير القليل. أيها الخريجون، أنتم نجوم يومنا هذا، أقولها ملء الفؤاد. مبارك لكم هذا إيجاز العظيم تستحقونه عن جداره. بارك الله لي ولكم هذا التخرج. إخواني، فلنجدد وعدا قطعناه على أنفسنا ونصدقه بأفعالنا بأن نكون لبنات الصالحة وإضافة فاعلة في مجتمعنا وأوسمة الشرف لهذه المدرسة. أيها الخريجون، وصيتي لنفسي ولكل نفس طموحة هي وصية رسولنا صلى الله عليه وسلم: أحرص على ما ينفعك ولا تعجز. اسمحوا لي أن أقدمها وأمام هذه الملاء حديث محب لحبيبه. شكرا مدرستي، مكمنة ولائي واعتزازي ووداعا يا مودن الذكريات. سأبقى فخورا ما حييته بأني كنت طالب في مدرسة روتشستر ستيم أكاديمي. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you, Zachariah. We all have a story to tell. And often when we tell our story, it's in a different language. It could be Arabic, it could be Somali, it could be English. I've told my engineering students and I told the seniors, what makes a human being so special, and you so special, is your ability to manipulate symbols and sets of symbols. That's called language. We have before us, and this is not so common in the United States with the graduating class, at least bilingual students. At least bilingual students. And when they tell their story, they can tell their story in at least 2 languages. But they also know a 3rd language, mathematics. A 4th language, music. Not all of the music is something that I necessarily appreciate, but they seem to be pretty good at it. Part of that was witnessed when Frank Centwali came. And how many of you were here when Frank Centwali did the poetry night? I wished I could have seen all the hands go up, because one thing that a teacher can tell you is that as much as they teach, they learn more. And what a learning year it's been for me. Because for me, coming and working with these marvelous students and this marvelous community, it was a real excitement for me because I'm bilingual. I wish I could say that it was English and Somali, but it's English and French. Et je pense que nous avons des amis de Djibouti. Oui, non? Ils sont présents? Non? Dommage. But it is the true sign of intellectual ability when you can manipulate more than one language. When you're talking about mathematics, English, Somali, Arabic, music, and engineering, when they start going into college and start learning calculus and physics and other things like that. These young men and women have been developing that part of their brain all their lives. And quite frankly, that's going to give them a leg up as they move into the future. So I told you part of my story. For 15 years, I was a French teacher in White Bear Lake. And then for 10 years, I was a principal throughout the metropolitan area. And then I started getting involved with charter schools. And then I met Abdulkader. And it's been a hopeless case of me working with wonderful charter schools and the wonderful people connected with them, including an outstanding board. Can I please ask you for a round of applause for the board of Rochester Democrats? So I'm not going to bore you with the rest of my story because you know that story led me to here. But one of the most important things we can do in this community is to make sure that we're listening. The stories that are told need to be heard. And that's why we have rituals like commencement ceremonies and graduation. And so we've asked some other students to come up and tell parts of their story. And I'd like to introduce you to Muna Abdiaziz, who's our junior speaker. Would you give her a round of applause, please?
Assalamu alaikum, friends, teachers, administrators, and parents. Welcome to the 2014 Rochester STEM Academy graduation. We are all here to congratulate these students who have worked really hard to be where they are today. I am honored to be here to tell everyone here in attendance what a journey it has been to have these fine ladies and gentlemen at STEM. It seems like just yesterday when the school opened and we were all nervous about how it would turn out. Seeing how far these students made it, I can say we were nervous about nothing. I have learned so much from my upperclassmen, whether it be good or bad. They have shown me with hard work and dedication you can persevere. Even when they had those small moments where they slipped up off their path, they still managed to go back to doing the right thing. I'm glad we had them to learn from because now it's going to be our turn to be the leaders of the school. I hope we can all lead this school to a bright future. Today begins a whole new chapter in your lives. You have been preparing for this day for so long and it's finally here. Like Dr. Seuss said, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. Now's the time when you start your life as adults. No more of those childish behaviors. This is when you confidently go in the direction of your dreams and live the life you have always imagined. You're not going to have your parents or teachers nagging you, telling you what to do anymore. You are on your own now. Life is tough, but that doesn't mean you have to give up. There will be bumps in the road, but if you stay focused on what you want to achieve, you will overcome any obstacle. The path you decide to take today will determine the outcome of your life. Your parents are very proud of you, and they have done everything they can to get you to where you are today. Now it's your turn to show them that they have done a wonderful job with you. We all have that fear of failure in our heads, but as Bill Cosby said, in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. Remember, you can always do anything you have if you have a right mindset. It's sad to see our senior class leaving, but knowing the places you guys are heading, it brings a smile to my face. I am glad to have gotten to know all of you guys. Give yourselves a round of applause because you made it. The first class of graduates of Rochester STEM Academy. It is a big deal for you, for our school, and parents who had this dream and helped make it reality. Congratulations, class of 2014.
Thank you, Muna. It's important that we show our children that we can give them responsibility and accountability. And that's why we've asked these students to come up and give the speech. I am not going to be doing the introduction for Senator Carla Nelson. As much as I respect her and admire her, it will be Nuruddin that does that. But if I could have the PSEO speaker come up, and I'm not going to tell you what PSEO is. Please give a hand for Saluddin.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. Today I'm doing a speech about PSEO, but before I start, I want to give thanks to a few people who helped me get up to the stage today. First off, I want to give thanks to my family who went through thick and thin to make sure I made it to this point in my life. I also want to thank my family who traveled all the way from overseas, and my uncle who came all the way from Atlanta to come here today. I also want to thank the esteemed guests and elders who took time out of their day to attend this important event. I also want to thank the school's administration, our teachers, staff, and our fellow students as well for making this journey a lot easier than it would have been. I came up here today to give a little speech on my experiences with the post-secondary enrollment program, also known as PSEO. I would like to give credit to the school administration again and my counselor for helping me with the PSEO process. PSEO is a program in which a high school student can take classes through a college or university while gaining not just only college credit, but also high school credit as well, giving the person a good head start on their college classes and also going on with their high school credits along the way. This program is fully utilized during a student's junior or senior year, while a sophomore or freshman student may have some limitations. There are many reasons on why I chose to do this program. One of the first and most important reason would be, of course, is that I was getting high school and college credit at the same time, enabling me to get not only a good head start on my college degree, but also save me time and money. To give a rough estimate, both semesters' tuition costs and materials add up to $5,000 at least. Thanks to the program, I didn't have to pay a single cent though. Another reason on why I chose to do the PSEO was to gain experience on what a college class would be like, how to interact with a completely new, different new system than the one I was used to during high school. Dealing with classmates who can be, and most of the time are, years older than you. At first it was hard to grasp, but through time I got used to it. Another aspect I had to get used to were choosing my classes. Fortunately, with the help of my school counselors at the high school and RCTC, I found a good selection of classes that helped me get onto my college major early on, and still being able to focus on my high school classes as well. In the end, I might not be the best person to give advice from this subject, but if I had to give advice to anyone who's interested in this program, I'll just give a few statements. The most important and probably the most obvious one would be to study hard, but you also need to give yourself some leisure time as well. Doing your best is essential, but having fun along the way is a huge part as well. College may seem hard at first, but I believe that anyone can get the hang of it. All you really need is to give yourself a little time and to remember hard work always pays off in the end. Thank you. And our next speaker coming up here today is Muhammad Noor. He's doing the senior speech. Okay.
Welcome parents, teachers, administrators, and friends. First and foremost, I want to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for blessing me with this honor of graduating today. I would like to thank my beautiful parents, my teachers for the gracious love, also family and friends, and other guests that came out in support of our graduation today. My name is Muhammad Noor, and I'm thankful to speak today. Rochester STEM Academy is a new school that's been here for 3 years. The school went through many stages and obstacles and has prevailed by establishing the first graduating class. The school went through to Rochester STEM Academy class of 2014. Being in high school is over, but being a student, this is just the beginning. We went through a long journey to get here. We must not stop here, but keep going. Success comes with a lot of hard work and sleepless nights. The famous Arabic poet Muhammad Darwish once said, "Man dalabu ala sahaliyalihi," which means whomever seeks success must awake many nights. Even if we have accomplished our goal, always have a thirst for education. In 2001, we were just about the most adorable little kids as kindergartners. In 2010, we entered high school as teens, and today we are graduating and leaving as young adults. I'll remember a lot about school, and one thing I won't forget is Mr. Todd's class. Thanks for making it different. Interestingly, Mr. Todd once told me that in life you're going to come across people that want to get in your way. You're going to come across people that don't like you. Through all that, you must keep going, keep pushing, and keep grinding. Education is really important to our society. I remember when I was just a little kid and my father telling me about education and how I need it for the rest of my life. At the time, I didn't know much about what he was saying, and as years went on, I started to make sense. School teaches you how to deal with life in general. It teaches you how to work hard. It's more than just memorizing equations, it's learning them. The famous Mahatma Gandhi said, "Live as you will die tomorrow, and live as you will to live forever." To our parents, thank you for supporting us in more ways than possible. You dragged us out of bed each and every morning, made sure we were fed and clothed for school. To our principal, vice principal, and all the office staff, thank you for keeping things running smoothly so our teachers could concentrate on us. We're better off for it. Thanks to all the teachers that inspired me and never let me slip up. Rochester STEM Academy, you guys taught me a lot. I built a brotherhood away from home. What's next? I guess that's what's pondering in my head. All of us will go off to college and pursue our careers. Some doctors, some businessmen, some teachers. The future is truly in our hands, so let's make the most of it. My challenge to each of you and to myself is to do all that you can to reach your full potential. As I've said before, change is not easy, but look at the amazing things that happened here because of it. And now with the graduation on the horizon, we all have another big change to make. But with the progress we made this year, I know that we will be just fine. As I close my speech, I would like to ask my fellow senior classmates just one request. As we face the challenges that come short to us, don't let the pain of this world change you. Instead, change the world with the rightness, because with a class this exponential, I know this is more than possible. Why? Because we already have. I hope wherever you stay is sunny. I hope you all find your true love, and I hope I have been a positive influence in your life. It's been an honor being a senior class valedictorian. Thank you. Now I want to welcome a very special and talented lady who received a Bachelor of Science degree in education from Drake University with an emphasis in special education, and later went on to earn her master's education in teacher leadership from the University of Minnesota. Additional work at the U of M led to her certification as a reading specialist. Senator Nelson was elected to the House of Representatives in 2002 and elected to the Senate in 2010, where she currently serves 5 committees as well as assistant minority leader. As the former teacher and education advocate, Senator Nelson has special focus on education issues along with issues relating to the economy and job climate. In her position in the state, she strives to make government more efficient and effective. Please welcome Senator Nelson.
Well, good afternoon. I am absolutely thrilled to be here. Dr. Rossi, esteemed board members, and my friends, the principals. I'm a principal kid myself, so I know you never mess with the principals. And staff, parents, graduates, congratulations to you. We know it's an exciting day. It's a historic day in Rochester, and it is a historic time in your lives. And I am just so honored and moved to be even a small part of this. It is great congratulations to the very first graduating class, the 2014 graduating class from STEM Academy. You have a rich heritage. You have a very bright future. And I look forward to following each one of you and see where you go in the places you will go. I hope if you've not read Dr. Seuss's book, Oh, the Places You Will Go, our junior speaker quoted some from that today. I hope that you will do so. But you should be very proud of your accomplishment today. Let me tell you a little bit. I actually had a speech written here, but you know what? I'm not going to tell you that speech. I'm just going to talk to you from the heart today. I sit on the education committee, and I'm the lead on the education committee. And I will tell you, I look every year at the scores of the school districts, and I take out my yellow highlighter and I go through all those schools in my Senate district. That's called Senate District 26. And I highlight all of those schools. We've talked about this, haven't we? And I look at them and I look to see how are the students doing. Because we know that your future is very much tied to how well you are prepared in high school. So I get out that highlighter and I look at those scores to see how the kids in my Senate district are doing. And there was this one school, Adam Abdullah Academy. And this school had the highest scores in the state, certainly the highest scores in my Senate district. And I had to come and see what was going on at Adam Abdullah Academy. And I must congratulate you on that achievement. And I came and visited, and what I saw, I will never forget. I saw the things that your speakers talked about today, the reasons that you are so successful, why you have been prepared to reach the milestone that you do today. But what I saw was a community that valued education. I saw dedicated teachers and staff. I saw community leaders in the hallways. I saw parents. It is that type of strong community and dedication that really allows us to have the high quality education that is so successful to your futures. And I have followed these students. I have followed you. You are doing great. You have a great future in front of you. And you know, not every student does have that type of education and background that is going to allow them to succeed and have all the opportunities that you have. You have a very high graduation rate. Unfortunately, not every school in Minnesota does have that high graduation rate. And yet it is absolutely essential because the jobs of the 21st century require more than a high school diploma. They require training beyond high school. And you are very blessed to be in a school that is focusing on science, technology, engineering, and math. Those are the areas of growth in our economy. Those are the areas with the high-paying jobs. And so you have a great opportunity to take and go forward today. You know, there are several things that I'd like you to know about the state of Minnesota and education and why schools like STEM Academy, Adam Abdullah Academy, are able to be in Minnesota and do so well. Two things. One, and both were mentioned today. One is charter schools. Minnesota was the first state in the nation to write legislation to allow for charter schools. And that is a huge thing. Because with charter schools, like your schools, they are able to be run by your esteemed board members and the community. And we know that you are accountable for those results, and we know that that local control, that local community knows best what is needed to help all students succeed. The second legislative thing that allows, that many of you have mentioned, which is our PSEO scholar and student, you could be an advertisement for post-secondary education options. Again, it allows high school students who are capable to do what's called dual enrollment. They can enroll in high school and college courses that meet both high school and college at the same time. It is the education that our students need, and parents appreciate the fact that it's easy on the pocketbook because Minnesota taxpayers pay for that college education. Do you know that you would know they also pay for the books? So the tuition is paid for, the books are paid for, and there's one important thing that I think doesn't get enough notice, and that is if transportation is a problem, the transportation is paid for. The taxpayers pay for the transportation as well because taxpayers know how important it is that every one of our students achieve and be well prepared with their education because your futures depend upon it. So those are two things that you can thank your Minnesota state government for. And I am very honored and pleased to represent you and to be your senator in the Minnesota State Senate. And I applaud you for the vision that your community has had and the dedication to excellence. And let me just say, STEM is it was mentioned earlier, but the focus on STEM is so visionary, not only because that's where the future is for jobs and for high-paying jobs, but because we live in Rochester, Minnesota. And Rochester, Minnesota is the epicenter of the scientific community. It's right here in our backyards. And I know that our economic security as a nation, is dependent upon the education of its people. We live in a democracy, and we know that democracies get the kind of government they deserve. And so it's your job to be very involved in this democracy and prepare yourself, continue to prepare yourself as you go forward. I look forward to following what you're doing. I salute your community, your leaders, your staff members, your parents, and the students, because it is a circle all needed to make this highly successful. I'm thrilled to be here with you on this historic day. My hat's off to you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Senator. That was marvelous. A very, very, very nice and touching speech. This brings us to the part of the ceremony where we'll go to the awarding of the diplomas. I believe I have a couple of student readers. Is that correct? Would you please come to the stage? I'm going to ask Dr. Joe Lead Otley to help me also, and the rest of the board members.
Mr. Ryan Todd, can you please come on the stage?
We'll start with you, and there's no names on them. Can I have the seniors please rise?
رقية عبد الله. صالح الدين عبد الله. نور الدين أحمد. فتحية علي. محمد علي. بكيو دهير. عبد الرحمن حاجي. نفيسة حسن. عبد الرحمن حسين. عبد الرحمن محمد. سعيد محمد. زكريا محمد. زكريا محمود. محمد نور. ياسمين سيرار. زكريا سيرار. عبد الله يوسف. And last but not least, Asha Yusuf.
Seniors, as you stand there, you get a pretty good bird's eye view of the room here. Look around. People talk about learning the 3 R's, and they say reading, writing, arithmetic. But look around, and here are the 3 R's. Relationships, relationships, relationships. This is only one of many rituals you're going to be experiencing in life. And out of these rituals come the future. These rituals create a rich past. And just as you planted that tree as a legacy, you are creating your legacy now, every moment. You are going into the community as adults and as high school graduates. But take another look around this room. And I'm echoing, I think, something that Abdul Qadir had mentioned. These people are power. This is the power you can have. This is the power you will be. And this is the power we anticipate to see from you. Because you are creating a better future for yourselves, your elders, and your own children. And so as we take a look at commemorating this commencement, the beginning of your new adult life as high school graduates, you'll want to take, you know what, before we do this, can we applaud our parents and community for the support they've given us to get you where you are now? We thank you. We thank you. So, as a conclusion to your ceremony, this commencement, would you please take the tassel and move it from your right to your left? Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating senior class 2014 Rochester STEM Academy.